Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 602 for July 16th, 2025. And hello, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on Ham Nation here on the Ham Radio Crash Course. We're doing something interesting today, and I think we got to go talk to the host to learn all about it. But we also have a wonderful interview, so stay tuned for that as well. Host, how are you doing this evening?
Doing fine.
Doing fine. So says the. You sound a little stressed, Randy. Are you?
Oh no, I think we got everything together here, so we shall find out.
So what are you doing tonight, Randy?
We're going to try and decode live SSTV pictures from the space station. It starts in about 7 to 8 minutes.
Very good. And Gordo, how are you doing?
We are doing fine, and I'm very happy to see that tonight we can talk about the question pool for technician that does not change this year. It's next year that your textbooks will need to be updated, and you're going to hear all about remote testing.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I've got Dawn right there in the corner. How you doing, Dawn? I think we're playing around with some video stuff with you, but do you hear us okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine. We've got a thunderstorm here, so that may be what's causing the issues. I don't know if you can see the blue circle. The blue circle is where we are, and so we've got some weather coming through right now. This is what is that tropical thing that went across Florida last night that may or may not be Dexter eventually. So we're kind of keeping our eyes on that, and I can't wait to see the SSTV stuff that Randy's going to show. This is going to be exciting tonight.
Indeed.
And we've got a solar update from Dr. Scove, too, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. And Amanda, how are you holding this ship of fools all together?
Oh my gosh, what an insult to all of our guests tonight.
No, not them, not them. I'm not talking about them.
Okay, the hosts, yes, they're all fools. I don't know. They don't pay me enough to be here with them. But we do have a bunch of guests from W5YI on, and I'm just going to tell my W5YI guests, please mute your microphones. We're hearing some of you in the background. Anyhow, we're going to be doing remote session lessons here and meeting some of the students and some of the camp counselors that are helping others get licensed as well, like all the way from Texas A&M and some other colleges. So stay tuned for that. And I'm super excited about what we're trying to do tonight, doing a live SSTV pass. So really, I'm going to hand it over to Randy, and Randy's going to give us some lessons and what he's using to receive and all of that. So Randy, take it away, buddy.
Okay. Well, the pass started, the event, today's Wednesday. It started on Monday and it goes through Sunday. So I got a few slides here we can show before it starts coming up over to my screen here. I need to do this and that. Okay, so is that coming through?
It is.
Oh yeah, loud.
Okay, so these are the announcements that the ARISS people send out. I find these on Twitter and Facebook and such. So there was the first one on the left, which explained the event, 12 images, 145-800. It was starting on Monday morning. They sent this one out a few days later, said it would start a little bit late. So these are the things you look for, so you know what's going to be happening. But what's really nice is that it starts on a Monday and it ends on a Sunday, and it runs for 24 hours a day. So it just goes. One of the first things you need to do is figure out when the space station is over you. So what I recommend is heavensabove.com. And when you go there, first thing you'll notice up here in the top right is that the location is unspecified. So you need to get your location in there. Over here, you click on change your observing location. And this is part of the next page. I just put in my zip code. It came up with Go Beach. And check the time down here to make sure it's appropriate for your time zone, and make sure you hit the update button. And now you can see it's got the location up here. And what we want to do now is the prediction for the ISS for 10 days. So you click on that and it brings up this window. And what you want to do is click on all. If you just do the visible, it's only when you can see it during like dawn and dusk, that type of thing. But we want all the passes that it's overhead. So do that. So here we are for 6:12 tonight. In just a few minutes, it's going to be a 24-degree pass, which I should be able to pick up pretty good. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Local time.
Local time.
Yes. Yeah. So radios, any 2-meter radio will work from the low end Baofangs all the way up to a 9700. So it doesn't really matter. The decoding software, you got lots to choose from here depending on your operating system. I run SSTV. This has been around for a long time. It's free on the Mac. These are the ones I found by searching. There's Black Cat. There's a SSTV for the Linux crowd. Black Cat also has a program for the iPhone, Robot 36 from Android, and leave your station running 24 hours a day with the squelch open. You can, and to capture everything that's coming by. As far as antennas, some antennas work better than others. You can receive with a simple ground plane. Here's a gain vertical, which is similar to what I'm using here. Here's a handheld Yagi, and if you go all out, you can have a full tracking Oscar type station. You don't need that though. They run a lot of power. I think 10 to 25 watts from the space station. That's a lot of power. So what I'm running here tonight is the Comet GP15. It's a tri-band, 70 centimeters, 2 meters, and 6 meters. The Icom 7100 connected in the computer using the USB. Again, the SSTV decoding, and I use Orbitron for the tracking. It's a free tracking program. It's been around for a long, long time. I have a video that explains a lot of this. You go to my K7AGEU channel and search for ISS SSTV and look for this one here. And it's about 45 minutes long. I show you how to get all this stuff set up and running. We don't have enough time here tonight. This is what it looks like when everything's running on my screen, SSTV. This is Orbitron, and this is the history of everything that I received here now in the last 2 days.
Wow.
The ARISS group asks you to upload your images to their gallery, and you can hit this button here. Then it'll take you to a page. You fill in your call sign and name and grid square and the time you heard it. Then you can upload the file. And if you do that, they will send you out this nice diploma certificate that you were able to receive the SSTV. So you can hang this on the wall or take it to your club and impress everybody. So that's all of that. And we can see here, it's just about to get to me. I'm going to zoom in here to North America so we can get a larger screen. It's just on the edge. And there it is.
Oh, yeah, we hear it.
I can hear it. Yep, hear it. And here the picture is
yeah.
starting. So it's saying it's at 0.7 degree elevation. Okay, it just ended. So it takes 2 minutes to send the picture, and then they pause for 2 minutes. There's 12 pictures in the sequence, and I kind of seem to get the same pictures over and over again. There's some type of timing relationship between the 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, and the duration of the orbit. When I was at Dayton, I said, "Can you make the off time like something like a minute and 50 seconds instead of 2 minutes?" And that would maybe skew the timing, so we can try and capture all 12 pictures. But this is run pretty much off of the Russian side of the space station. So the ARISS group doesn't have a whole lot of control with what's going on.
What's the duration of your pass tonight, Randy?
Duration, it's right here in Orbitron with the prediction. It started at 1811 and it's going to 1819. So about 8 minutes.
Okay. 8
Wow,
minutes.
that's pretty long, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a good pass, too. Are you
so we
running
should-
off of what kind of antenna are you using?
I'm just running that vertical.
Okay.
I'm just running a vertical antenna. So it's kind of going to favor these lower elevation
Yeah.
passes.
Yeah. this is
The
good.
pattern on the vertical is kind of towards the horizontal. And what you want is something wider so it can receive up further when the space station or the satellite is right above you. I am working on some tracking antennas, but that's still in the basement. A
Randy,
work in progress.
it was so funny. Somebody on Blue Sky had said if somebody could just shake the ball out there at the ISS to change up the photos, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
After receiving missing ones.
Yeah. My cat's crying at me here behind me.
So for those that are catching this live, we still have the pass, but we're in between images. There's a 2-minute on and 2-minute off break time. And it looks like it's starting.
Yep. And it's showing about S9 on the meter here. There's lots of different SSTV formats. The one they use is called this PD 120. So the beginning of the transmission, it actually sends out a couple lines of like data, and it tells the software here what decoder to use. So, or you can manually press the PD 120.
Oh, Randy, you might have a really good image on your hands here. This already looks really good.
Yeah, here we go. Bring up the magnifying glass here.
I love that there's an old school telephone in that image too. That's great.
There's like no noise in that. That's great.
That's really clean. Yeah.
And that's just a vertical antenna, not a tracking.
Just a vertical antenna, not a tracking. Wow. Yeah.
That's an amazing shot. I've seen a lot of them on Twitter, and nothing. I don't think any of them look this
really good. Are you sure this is
That's
not some pre-canned audio? Did you pre-can this, Randy?
Although maybe I should stop at this one. Yeah.
I think he's cheating.
I haven't seen one interference come into this yet. That's amazing.
Not one blip. Not one green line.
Slick
this is
as
crazy.
It can be.
When things go well, I'll tell you what.
I'm shocked.
So down here it says this is picture 6 of 12, which you can see I've received many times down here. Yeah.
That's about as clean as I have ever seen that.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting a little bit of noise.
I mean, to make sure you're human, I hope there's a little bit of noise. Jeez.
Wow.
That's okay, start my stopwatch here.
You got to share that one. You got to upload that one.
Yay.
Wow.
That's gorgeous.
Here we go.
Look how clean
so
that is.
Here is
a little bit.
W5DD receiving slow scan TV. This is what 40 years ago. So back then,
a long time ago.
he's got an Apple II computer here. This is probably some type of SSTV decoding hardware. Before we had software, it could be a HAL or something. There's a couple things around there. I'm not sure what this is, but it was quite common for people to use an audio cassette recorder to record the pass.
Oh, it makes sense.
That was their storage. Because once it overran the buffer or whatever, it was then gone. So
now,
as Josh mentioned, the awesome analog phone up there too.
Yeah, the awesome analog phone.
Yeah.
Randy, how did you pull up that image viewer when we were catching a live downlink? That was somebody asked that in the chat. Like, yeah, that window you had there. How'd you make that pop up?
Right here in the bottom corner is a little magnifying glass. So just click on that.
Okay, and you're using SSTV application to do this.
TV.
Who would have known?
That's a great program. It's been around forever.
Yeah. It's written by a Japanese this, and he's got an MMRTTY program and some other ones. He wrote them years ago. I guess he must have really obeyed the Windows rules because it still runs.
Yeah, it was built a while ago too. And you can tell just by looking at it, but it's classic.
Yeah. He had like 4 or 5 different programs for all kind of different digital modes.
Yeah. So you can see it's down to my southeast. It's at 19 degrees elevation. And about 3 seconds, it should start. There it is.
And you might get another one here. Let's see if you can hold up with the fantastic images.
I can hear
the magnifying glass, right?
popping.
145-800 for those that
145-800. Yep.
Yeah, right now.
Yep. Yep, the people on the east here, it's going in your direction. It seems like most of the passes, at least to begin with this week, happen from start at this time in the afternoon and go to a few hours past midnight. Then I have to wait to late in the afternoon again. So we're getting some noise this time.
Still not bad.
No.
I think sometimes the antennas get in a shadow as things move, on the space station.
Yeah. Well, plus those gain verticals, they definitely have lobes. So
yeah,
definitely noisier.
Yeah.
This time
when
around.
Right overhead, there's a giant lobe of no reception.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
The
problem
picture had
I
a
have.
little bit of slant in it.
Yeah. Trying to hit
and it just auto-corrected it to straighten it out.
Yeah, make contacts on the space station as I've got this dual band Ringo, and it definitely does not like overhead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've always just used our VHF little Yagi to receive what we could. Never perfect pictures, not like these. Let me put it that way.
Crazy, yeah. That's still one of the best I've seen.
I may have to build a coat hanger ground plane just for ISS stuff, because that's really all you need.
Or else, a little 3 or 4 element beam, and if you just point it up about 45 degrees.
Yeah. Well, I've got an elk antenna, but I don't want to stand out there in 90-degree, 90% humidity in the summertime. So I did that once.
Randy, there's a question coming in. Does the angle of the pass affect the noise?
I don't believe so. What can affect it is, let me drop out of the sharing here. We're not going to get any more. I think what can affect it is things that are surrounding your antenna. If you're down low, you may have some trees or your house or something. So getting the antenna up in the clear really helps. I'm not sure where the relationship is of the antenna on the space station to my antenna. So as the thing's moving, there's maybe other pieces of the space station. It's not rotating, so you don't get into the circular polarization things like maybe with some of the communication satellites. Did that answer it?
I don't know. So. Into MAK, I hope that answered it for you. Let's see. What my question was. You've just kind of been inserting some of the equipment that you need. Give us like a total, give us cheapest base that this would cost for someone to start doing this, or maybe they already have all the equipment at home and they can do it.
Well, you can hear it with a handheld, sometimes with just the antenna that's on the handheld. You won't get a perfect noise-free picture. One of those longer gain antennas, Josh uses them a lot. Mm-hmm. What's that one you use? That long one?
The Comet, the collinear verticals with the stingers on the bottom, or the the little ground plane.
Yeah, that works good. Next thing up would be a little, Yagi type antenna. You can make them out of tape measures. You can search around and find that. There's also a website called Cheap Yagi, I believe, and it shows how to make them on just a wooden boom and some coat hanger wire or whatever, number 12, copper wire, put it together. Then a computer, which everybody probably pretty much has with the software. And what I kind of recommend to start is take and record the sound from your radio. Use either like your iPhone or a little digital audio recorder, because this is a lot to get running when you first start, trying to track the satellite, knowing it's coming over, holding the radio, trying to get it into the computer, fiddling around with the decoding software. Next thing you know, it's gone. So I would concentrate on first trying to record it, maybe just hold the little recorder by the speaker and record the pass. Now you've got that stored and you can try several times with the decoding software to get the picture. And as you gain experience, you can then try and do more and more of this live.
There is a recommendation for those little USB RTL SDR dongles. They do VHF, UHF just fine. So Nualec or RTL SDR, you can get them on Amazon for $20, $30. And since you already kind of have to go into a computer for the audio, it makes it pretty easy to set up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a new program that's just come out the last month or so called Sky Roof. It's a Windows program, and you look at the screen, it's just absolutely amazing. All the stuff it shows you. I can bring it up real quick if you want to see it, but it works with the dongles. You have to get a little creative, get the audio out of that program and going into your SSTV decoder or whatever. So you have to use like a virtual audio cable driver thing to
That is true. Yeah.
feed the output of
That
one.
sounds complicated.
Yeah.
Not
So
that bad.
yeah. I can bring that up here in a second if you want to see what that looks
Sure,
like.
And,
Randy, give us a lesson.
I mean, it's really impressive.
Well, you pull that
Randy,
up. Oh, go ahead, Gordo.
Oh, Randy, will an image appear if you come into it about halfway through one of the
yeah.
2-minute shots?
Yeah,
You
it'll
have
start.
to press go start. Yeah, okay.
You might have to, but yeah, you can. I
Then
don't
you'd be
have-
really disappointed that you missed half of it.
Yeah. Okay. I got this up. I don't have any type of receiver on it, so you're not going to see parts of this work.
So while he's answering that
So-
or pulling that up, I'll mention really quickly too. There is a
It should start
there's a website called Heavens Above. I'll drop the link so you guys can check it out.
Heavens
So-
Above is great for all things.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can track the ISS that way. Let me go back to Randy here.
And it is awesome because it gives you your time,
Mm-hmm.
like where you're located, which is so much nicer than having to convert the GMT and such. For
Yeah.
those of us that
Okay, so
are
this-
Zulu challenged.
It
That
just
is a
spoke to me
cool-
that it just spoke to me that AO27 is rising in 2 minutes. So what we have here, we have a bunch of satellites in a group. So these are the ones that are in the group. This tells you information about the selected satellite. This down here is showing, I have it set for the ISS. So this shows all the upcoming passes. The next one's in 1 hour 22, 3 hours 0, 4 hours 37. And it gives you a little diagram of where it's going to be
Wow.
above your horizon. It also tells you the duration and the maximum elevation. Across the bottom, this is one of the neatest features. This is a timeline. The shaded area here is now, this is what's coming up. So it said AO20, so it said AO7 will appear in like 2 minutes. And this is going to track and move in real time. You can zoom this in and out to see what's coming up. Let me go back over here. Somewhere here I saw it. Yeah, here's the next space station pass down here. This shows you where it is over the Earth. This shows you the path. So this would say it, I believe, starts to the southwest. Maximum elevation is going to be up over here. And this is where it's going to go over the horizon. And if you had your SDR dongle, you'd see the waterfall here, and you can tune around here. And let me, get back to the ISS.
And what is that called, Randy?
Where'd it go here? Sky Roof.
Sky Roof. I got to get that.
Love it.
Yep.
Nope.
That's very
It's a
cool.
self. That's
So
neat.
you zoom in here, and this is where it would be, and it's showing you where it's the frequency that it's going to start at, because with the Doppler, it's going to be higher in frequency
Mhm.
as it approaches you, and it'll be lower in frequency as it goes away. So
That's
yeah, it
neat.
should be kind of over here. Yeah. Anyway, so this will control a radio, it will control rotors. This is still beta, and it's really pretty
That is
impressive.
very
Nice.
cool.
I like it.
Any other questions for Randy and SSTV?
I think we
Good
got
job.
the calendar. Yeah, you did that live, Randy. You're a pro at this, buddy. That was
No
great.
kidding.
Good job. And the best image I've ever seen.
What
That was
could
literally
possibly
one of the
go
best
wrong?
images I've ever seen on SSTV.
Good stuff.
Totally killed it. Good job.
I'm
That's
glad it worked out.
amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on and
So-
doing that. That was the coolest thing ever.
Sure.
Yeah, it was really
So
good.
what are we on to next?
We're gonna go to an Icom ad.
Very cool.
Icom commercial.
Fun, Sun, and QSO. Wherever you go, keep the fun going with one of Icom's go-to rigs. As the days get longer and the bands heat up, make sure you're ready with a radio that works as hard as you do. So kick back and enjoy the breeze and make those QSOs with ease. Remote ready, contest capable, and built for serious signal, step into the future of amateur radio with Icom's powerhouse trio. The IC7760 HF digital transceiver, the IC-PW2 1 kilowatt HF 50 MHz linear amplifier, and the all-new RC7760 remote controller. Designed to work in perfect harmony, this system offers full remote operation, high output power, and seamless integration across the bands. The RC7760 remote controller serves as an extra control head, and up to 5 can be registered to the RF deck, though only one can be active at a time. For wireless connectivity, simply connect a commercially available Wi-Fi access point via the LAN port. Whether you're working from the shack, the field, or a remote site, you'll experience crystal clear audio, digital precision, and amplifier-grade power, all from a single unified interface. It's the ideal setup for contesters, MCOM operators, and high-demand users who expect more from their gear. The IC7300 combines intuitive touchscreen control, real-time spectrum display, and superior signal purity into one compact rig. Built for satellite, EME, and weak signal enthusiasts, the IC9700 combines all-mode operation on VHF, UHF, and 1.2 GHz. The IC2730A now features a high-contrast black display. It offers everything operators love: true dual-band operation, independent control knobs, and optional Bluetooth compatibility for hands-free operation. The IC718 is a favorite among new hams and portable operators, offering simple operation, rugged construction, and clean audio with DSP filtering. For more information about all of Icom's great amateur radios, visit icomamerica.com/amateur today.
Well, thank you very much, Icom, for the support. We very much appreciate it. Every time we go live, we give away 3 swag packs. That includes things like a bag, hat, tablet, pencils, pens, you name it. It's random. It's a surprise. Every time you click the Enter Now button when we go live, you can enter for a chance to get a swag pack. And if you win a swag pack, then you go into the end of the month drawing for a radio. And it's drawing day today. So let's talk about who won, and, well, maybe we should figure out what they won first. So let's scroll on down to July, and the winner this month is getting an ICV 3500. So let's take a look at the winners. And for swag packs, we've got Tom W. N3WS, Matthew WKC9SCN, and Michael H. But the winner is Majit. I believe that is how you pronounce that. I hope I pronounced it right. KJ5IUX. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoy that radio. Make sure you click Enter Now so that you get a chance to win not just a swag pack, but potentially a radio at the end of every month. And next month, what are we giving away? Why, it's an ICV86. So make sure you're watching Ham Nation. Make sure you enter the button, get in there, and give them your information. Thanks so much again, Icom. We very much appreciate you. I get the pleasure now to throw it over to Amanda, who has a bunch of guests, and they're going to talk about online testing for getting your amateur radio license. So take it away, Amanda.
You know what? I'm not going to talk a lot about it because A, I've never done it, and B, I'm not sure if I would do an online test or not. I think I would be overwhelmed. I kind of like the paper thing, but I hear that paper is kind of going away everywhere. So good thing I've already tested and I'm past everything and I don't have to worry about it anymore. But that's not why we're here tonight. We are going to talk about online testing. Let me introduce some fine people here. What I see first is Harini. Thank you for being here. KE2DJF. And we have Ian down there, AE5ID. And then we have Vikram, KE2GVGFJ. Boy, you guys got a mouthful. And then we have Alan, WB5QNG. Thank you all for being here. I'm happy to have you. And Alan, you're kind of rounding this up tonight. So why don't you tell us about W5YI? And you can tell us what you're doing online. Take it away.
All righty. Well, of course, online testing started a lot. We started doing a lot of online testing in 2020 with the COVID stuff that, everybody couldn't get out and go to do their paper exams and stuff like that. And so W5YI started in March of 2020 doing online testing. At that time, I was one of the probably handful of people doing online testing. Since then, it's expanded to where you could pretty much take a test anytime of any day online from the comfort of your home. Um, and so we've been doing a lot of that. Some things we've done is expanded the program a bit. About this time last year, W5YI created a new program called Students Testing Students. I've always been big on bringing youth into ham radio. As Gordo will remember, for decades I worked at HamCom, which was our local convention here in Plano, Texas. Was Arlington, then Plano. I think we moved around a couple times. But anyway, we've tested each year. We would do hundreds of Boy Scouts. And if they had prepared, we would get them, test them for free. And between Icom and HamCom and Diamond, they would end up with a handy talkie with a Diamond antenna for free if they passed their exam. And of course, HamCom went away with COVID, various reasons. But now with remote testing, and we started up another program called Complete Renewal Service. I'm sort of jumping here a little bit, but we found a lot of people were having, when I took over W5Y, we found a lot of people were having problems doing renewals. So we offered a service where we would do everything. One fee, we submit the renewal, pay for it, print out the licenses, mail them to them. And we were surprised at how many people don't have email and don't even have computers, how many amateurs don't. That turned out to be, let's just say the acceptance was wildly beyond our expectations. We figured we might do a couple dozen per month. That is more like per day. Anyway, we took some of the proceeds from that program, and this time last year we created the Students Testing Students program. The focus of the program is to enable college, university, amateur radio clubs, such as Texas A&M, where Ian's at, or Irvine Valley College, where Sephir's at. Sephir's not here tonight. And I think we've got about 8 or 9 colleges, universities enrolled in our program now. And we would allow them to test for free. There was just an applicant can sign up in their sessions. Most of them are remote, especially this time of the year because it's summertime. The students are sitting at home or classrooms or whatever. And they take their exams with primarily university students running the exam session. We allow them to test for free. And then the twist in Students Testing Students, unlike some other programs, if you pass Element 2, in other words, if it's your first amateur radio license, W5YI pays the $35 application fee.
Wow.
So you not only test for free, you get your license for free. We pay the fee, as soon as we submit it and get it back from the FCC, we pay the fee for you immediately. So this is a program it's totally self-funded by W5YI. And since its inception, we started about August of last year. It got off to a slow start, but I think we've got 8 or 9 universities now. We've tested about 250 students, and we've paid for about 128 licenses.
Wow.
Since about last September.
Well, let's meet some of your team. We've got Harini here, Harini and guest. I don't know who's sitting next to you. How are you? And how did you get involved?
Well, she's got muted or what?
Yeah, I don't have any audio. Harini, we can come back to you. Let's go down to Vikram. How did you get involved with W5YI?
Yeah, so we actually hosted a math camp, and during the math camp, we were able to train a lot of students about radio technology, and a lot of them were able to get their amateur licenses, their technician licenses. So that was really exciting, and so that's how we got involved with W5Y. They did all the testing for us, and it was a really great experience.
Yeah, and what's your background? You're just a student, and you decided you wanted to get into amateur radio?
Yeah, so I was always interested in STEM stuff, and Harini introduced me to radio technology, and all of the learning and everything was really interesting to me. So taking the technician license was really fun, and general license as well.
That's awesome. And so, is that what are you into, like engineering, or what's your future look like for you?
Yeah, I'm pretty into engineering, robotics, that kind of stuff. So that's what I hope to do, computer science in the future. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here tonight and telling us about you a little bit and how you got involved with W5YI. I'm going to jump over to Ian. And hello, Ian. Same question to you. You're over there. You're down in Texas A&M area. Tell us how you got involved.
So I got licensed back in 2022 after the COVID pandemic. And initially with our team, we were working with Laurel, but myself and my co-CVE had been VE members on Michael's team. And through working with Michael, we were able to have some experience doing online tests with K5RWK. And when they started that program, we received an invitation to join that. And since then, it's been incredible getting to see students come to us and not have to worry about paying anything. A lot of college students don't necessarily have a lot of money to put into things. So
that is true.
Really easy start into a hobby is nice.
Yeah, they're living on ramen noodles. So you're at Texas A&M, and what do you study? Or are you are a student there, right?
I just graduated in May, but I studied electronic systems engineering.
Oh, fantastic. So are you sticking around in that area? Are you looking for jobs elsewhere?
I'm looking for jobs currently, but I'm still in the process of moving out of college.
I gotcha. Well, thank you for being here. Thanks for what you're doing with W5YI. And it's nice to see all these fresh faces. Let's go up to Harini and see if you're with us. Can you hear us okay now? See if maybe we can hear her.
I think they have an audio connection problem.
Oh, no. That's too bad.
I lost them on the main screen.
Yeah,
Well-
Harini was the counselor at the STEM camp this summer. She was the primary adult driver of the STEM camp. She's the one we hooked up with and coordinated the program with. I think, was it, Ian, it was 17 students we tested, and I think 11 of them got their licenses over a course of 2 days.
Wow.
We tested most of them. I think all of them got tested on Friday night, but some of them that didn't pass on Friday night came back on Saturday morning to Ian's session and retested. And Ian, what was it, 3 or 4 more got their licenses on Saturday?
Let me double check, but I believe on the Saturday morning it was 8 applicants with 3 new technicians. And then we've had a few sessions since with an additional 1 person passing later. I think that was on Friday or Saturday passing their tech.
Okay.
Wow.
So we've most of the students have now passed their test. I think there's still 3 or 4 more from the sounds of it that haven't passed yet. But this whole program was set up, like I said, to help get youth involved. And this was a STEM camp. It was a Santa Fe Indigenous STEM camp. These were, I assume most of them were American Indian in the Santa Fe area at this camp.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, 11. Most of them were 11 to 15, although I think some of them went up to 17. Harini would know for sure if she had audio, she could tell us. But most of these were very, very young kids. And I believe, and she could correct me if I'm wrong if she's got audio, but we did get them hooked up with the QRZ Gigaparts Jumpstart program.
And what is that?
So that is where the program allows you to get if you got a brand new license, I think, I have to go look at the program, you got like the first 3 months or so, you can get a handheld radio at a steeply discounted price, but I think they may have made a donation to the STEM camp to where they got them for free. I'm not sure. Harini would know for sure. But she did get hooked up with them to where the students actually walked out of camp, those that got their licenses, they had their licenses and a radio at the completion of camp.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you still offering camps? How do people get hooked up with the camp to do this as well?
The camp came to us through Auburn University. They were originally hooked up with Auburn University. Auburn University connected to us to do the testing because they didn't have a students testing team at Auburn yet. Hopefully we'll get that situation corrected. But we hook up with universities, and this camp just came to us as an opportunity through a university to do the testing. I mean, we do have a web page on the W5YIVEC.org. If you go to where it says Find Exam Sessions at the very top, there is a link you can click on that'll send a blast email out to our university students, our university teams, where you can send them an email, say, I'm interested in getting a test session set up. And one of the university teams at least one of them will respond to you, probably several of them. But it'll send out a blast email to our teams, our university teams that are currently signed up. Because most of them don't have scheduled exams, especially this time of the year. They're out on summer breaks, things like that. So they don't have scheduled exams. They're doing them as on demand as needed, again, using remote.
Sure.
We typically use Zoom. But a lot of these teams will put together a session in a heartbeat. I mean, this test session for the STEM camp, we started, I think we got word of this in early June. And Zephyr and Ian did to handle all the logistics of when and hours. We were going to do the testing and setting up the rooms. We actually had so many students. Initially, we thought we were going to test close to 30 students. And I think I sent you a screenshot of one of the initial, when we first started up, we had something like 62 volunteer examiners logged in, prepared to help with the test session that evening. So we had we didn't have enough university students, so we supplemented them with our normal students. But the test sessions were coordinated and led by our university teams. Primarily, Zephyr's from Irvine Valley College out there in Southern California, and Ian at Texas A&M. But we had students from, I'm trying to remember, we had students from several different universities represented at this test session that took time out of their summer to help test these students.
Well, that's awesome. That's amazing. Well, I'm glad you guys are doing it. Josh, did you want to go over some questions? Did you have anything from the chat?
Let's see, a couple of things.
Oh, also, so Harini wanted to share an introduction about all of us. So
Of
she's not
course.
able to talk right now, but I can share it. Okay, so we're part of the Alliance for Indigenous Math Circles, which is an organization to provide STEM opportunities to Indigenous youth through math circle programs and STEM activities at our annual math camps, which was one of the ones that we attended. So Indigenous youth are current mathematicians that we want to strengthen with their mathematical problem-solving skills and critical thinking. So the Radio Weaves project, which is what we are doing, uplifts the mathematical importance of Indigenous military contributions through using native languages in communication. And having students participate in learning to become ham radio operators really instills pride in their culture and shows them pathways for STEM careers. So we're really proud of the students who attended the math camp and last year who also got to participate in learning about the radios. So yeah, we just wanted to give a quick introduction.
No, yeah, that is amazing. And I should have a group of you all on to talk just about that and why it's important to your cultures and things like that. I'd love to have that. Thank you for sharing that. Tell Harini, thank you very much for making sure she got the word out on that. Very important. And okay, Josh, any other questions?
And sorry we can't hear Harini. Sorry
I
about
know.
that. But we did get a comment from Amado, and he says, I tested with W5YI, but not remote. I did tech and general, now studying for extra. Well, there you go, Amado. You can go and test online now when you go get your extra there. We did get a question that I think we answered in the chat, but I think it's a good question that needs to be answered by the folks on the call here. So it's from Mark King, and they ask, can a license that has expired and is past the 2-year limit be tested remotely?
Yes. If it's expired and past the 2-year limit, it's been canceled. So you have to, depend upon the license class, well, let's say it's an extra class and they let it get canceled. They could take a remote exam, pass the technician exam, element 2, and they will get credit for elements 3 and 4. So they could take a tech and end up with an extra.
Oh,
Well,
that's
you know,
an interesting distinction.
if they had a general class, they could take the tech, they'll get credit for element 3 and come out of there with the general class. And of course, if it's a tech, they have to retake the tech again.
I did
But
not know.
yeah, if the license has been canceled, which means you've gone, you know, your 10-year plus 2-year grace period plus 1 day, then your license is canceled. And at that point, you have to take an exam to get a new license. And we've had several people, we mail out postcards reminders to people. In fact, we've been mailing out postcards to 2023 and 2024 licensees who have expired. And it's been real rewarding with the 2023s, helping them get their, or we call them the 2023s, to get their licenses reinstated because most of them had given up. They couldn't figure out the FCC system. They couldn't figure out, and a lot of them don't have internet. They don't have email. So they couldn't figure out how to renew their licenses. You know, they call the FCC and the FCC says, well, you need an email address. A lot of these older folks especially don't have email. And we have a solution for that. It's not a hindrance to us. We had to have a few discussions with some powers to be at the FCC to make sure they understood what we were, well, they were asking us what we were doing. We set off some flags in their system and they called us up and said, what are y'all doing? And so we had to have some discussions with them to clarify that we weren't violating FCC rules. We were just helping people out. But we do have a method to handle people that do not have email addresses. You know, like I said, our complete renewal system, we do everything. We submit the renewal, we pay for it, we print it, and then mail it to them. And most people are very happy to get that printed copy in the mail.
Absolutely.
I just wish the U.S. Postal Service would deliver a little bit more reliably.
My QSL cards with that as well. I get my bureau cards and they're sometimes torn up. Well, thank you, Alan, for that. I think we answered all of the viewer questions. And thank you, Frank, for fantastic stuff there.
One thing I would like to tell people, though, don't be afraid of remote testing. Believe it or not, you have a better chance of passing your test on a remote exam than you do it in person. W5YI supports both. We as teams still doing old paper exams. But I have verified this with Maria at the ARRL. Remote testing tends to have about a 15% better pass rate. And the only thing we could think of, it's because people are more relaxed because they're at home or in some known environment taking their test. So don't let the fact that it's remote over the internet using Zoom scare you away.
Sure.
And Gordo here, let me tell you, it is secure. There's no way of cheating when you have a screen full of VEs all watching.
Yeah, we do have our processes we go through to make, look for obvious signs of impropriety, and then we have some things we watch for that we don't talk about. People have tried all sorts of things and they get caught, and then the FCC has a unpleasant response for them.
That would be really the least of my, that's what I would not be worried about. But, well, thanks, Alan. Thanks for bringing your team on. I'm sorry some of your members couldn't join us tonight, but Harini and Vikram, please wait. I'm going to reach back out to you all to get you back on the show, and we'll get some audio working for Harini for sure. All right. Well, thanks, you guys. You can stick around till the end of the show. We're going to go to AR News next.
Mute. I don't hear Dawn. Uh-oh. Well, we're having network issues. Remember, Dawn is in the middle of a... Yeah. I can't hear you, Dawn. I think the storm got you, kid. I think the storm has got you. We're having a tough night for audio. You want to just roll that beautiful bean footage? All right, I'm going to roll the film. It is my pleasure to introduce Amateur Radio Newsline for Dawn. I'm sure he had a little quip for you. So nothing funny here. We'll just play it. And stay tuned for Dr. T.
From Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2489, this is Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. Our top story this week takes us to the scene of a tragedy in North Carolina in which a well-known Parks on the Air activator died after being electrocuted.
Trip Owens, N4NTO, a well-regarded POTA activator, died on Friday, July 4th, when, according to investigators, his antenna mast made contact with an overhead power line at the Chickasaw Civil War Cemetery near the Averisboro Battlefield Historic Site, US 11375. Emergency crews were called to the scene after Tripp was found unconscious in the parking lot. One news report said that the fire crews found him with his foot touching the mast beneath the power lines. Power company crews turned off the power to give the responders access. Tripp was pronounced dead at the scene. Within hours of the news, the ham radio community offered condolences to his family on social media and shared memories of a man who they praised for his spirit of mentorship and his general sense of humor. Mark Gibson, N4MQU, praised him for his achievements as a top CW operator and a devoted contester. He'd been a ham since 1985. Ambrose Trip Owens III was 57 years old. This is Jim Davis, W2JKD.
We at Newsline and Ham Nation would like to remind all of our listeners and viewers, especially those operating portable stations, to please exercise utmost caution, especially during setup and teardown. A popular VoIP service for hams is calling it quits.
Say goodbye to Ham Shack Hotline, the free VoIP telecom service. The service announced it would be discontinued effective the 29th of August. The project began in 2018 and grew to be a global communications network with a peak establishment of 7,000 interconnections across numerous servers. Ham Shack Hotline's board of directors said it will donate whatever cash reserves it may have to a charity that supports military veterans.
In Dallas, Texas, a former NASA astronaut will be the guest speaker at an educational event that marks the anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing and celebrates advances in space exploration.
Retired Colonel Carl Walls, formerly KC-5TIE, will deliver the keynote address at the Dallas Frontiers of Flight Museum during Moon Day, which celebrates space exploration and encourages attendees to participate in activities involving science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Moon Day is taking place on the 19th of July, a date close to the July 24th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969. The Ohio native, a former ISS astronaut, spent more than 18 hours conducting spacewalks to evaluate tools for the refurbishment of the Hubble Space Telescope. AMSAT Ambassador Thomas Schuessler, N5HYP, will join with satellite enthusiasts from North Texas to demonstrate CubeSats using models and a simulator and talk about amateur radio in space. Members of the Dallas Amateur Radio Club will be on hand to also share amateur radio's role in supporting science education. For details about attending, or if you live nearby and want to volunteer, email Tom at n5hyp@arrl.net. This is Sal Emby, KB3TZD.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Jim Davis, W2JKD, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, Sel Emby, KB3TZD, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3, we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. Now, here's the solar update from Dr. Tamitha Skov, WX6SWW.
Gorgeous eye candy. You'll see this filament here. We'll talk more about that in a second. And then some fast solar wind from a very large extended coronal hole, but it's been underperforming. And yeah, I'll jump into all of that as we get into the forecast. As you can see, the 5-day outlooks will be from the 16th because it's what I expected to do last night. Okay, so as you can see, this massive coronal hole here, right? This is the coronal hole. This part here is transequatorial. This down here is not. This is not going to give us all that much, and it hasn't been giving us all that much fast solar wind because this is just too high latitude. Earth is actually passing above it. In fact, I think Earth is above the equatorial plane, so that's why it makes it even worse. Earth is sitting up here a little bit, and so the fast solar wind is going south of Earth. So we're just not getting all that much in the way of beautiful aurora or anything like that. But I'll talk a little bit more about what's coming and what we expect. We do have a couple active regions that have been getting busy. 4136 is a standout because it's connected to this filament here, which you will see it kind of helps loosen it. We also have a lot lot of activity from region 4041 and a couple active regions that's rotated already to the far side of the sun. We'll see a big filament eruption. Those are the two really big, beautiful eye candy parts that we'll see. In fact, I think that first gorgeous filament eruption occurs right there. You can see that, and I'll actually show it to you in SUVI. And Sue, let me stand over here for a sec so you can see it better. This was just absolutely beautiful. We see it also in stereos imagery, but it's just a massive filament, really slow eruption, but all the way up to the poles like that. And then that is not the only thing. That kind of loosens things up. We have a lot of little active regions that have been firing off different things here and there, but watch this filament eruption. You kind of miss it right there in SDO imagery because SDO is being eclipsed by the moon right now. So what happens is the moon moves in front of SDO, and between the sun and SDO, and so SDO's imagery just drops out. We call it eclipse season, and so we didn't get to see it very well. But SUVI, which is in a different location, actually does. So you can watch this right here. It's just absolutely stunning. Now the problem that we have, and I wonder why this isn't stopping. If I back up just a little bit, see if I can get it to stop. Okay. You can see this arm of the filament really kind of coming out this way. So it's definitely coming partially. It's hard to say if it's Earth directed. I have not seen NOAA or NASA come out with a model for this particular eruption yet, because in coronagraphs, it really looks like it's going completely northward, northeastward of us, and not going to be Earth directed. But man, it's hard to tell. We also had a little bit of a filament that came out here, another eruption this way, that kind of masks anything that might show us in coronagraphs that it might be coming at us. But I'll talk a little bit more about that in my formal forecast later on. Anyway, it's an absolutely beautiful eruption. As we get back to the disk, you can see there's a little bit more activity from this trio here, and this coronal hole is now very well into the Earth strike zone, except it's just a little bit too far south of us. So we're not expecting a heck of a lot more from this. We've been sitting at unsettled conditions right about now. Maybe get to be active conditions. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Over the next couple days, maybe from the wake of this particular storm that's coming. We're also going to see more activity rotating into Earth view, and that the flare risk will start rising here probably in about 2 to 3 days. But we'll talk more about that. And much more is coming in the formal forecast. And I think that's about all I have to say. Oh, I can talk a little bit more. We will have a better chance at some fast solar wind from this coronal hole that's going to probably take about 10 days to get into Earth view. But it's something, okay? So sadly, we haven't had a lot of Earth-directed activity. But, the sun has been pretty underwhelming during this declining phase thus far. Okay, so now as we switch to our far-sighted sun, so this is stereo A imagery, who is now looking very far off to the side. We're almost in quadrature now with the sun, so it can see a lot more of the sun to the east of Earth, to the west of Earth than Earth can see. And over the past few days, you can see the coronal hole. It's actually seeing that long finger. And I want to keep your attention to this set of regions in here, because you're watch these two regions kind of really grow quite quickly. So we get a bit of activity from region 4137, but you're going to see a flare from region 4130, it looks like. And then this whole area completely underneath this coronal hole really lights up. Do you see these ribbons right here? This was where that filament tore off. So what we couldn't see on the front side, we only saw it as this long elongated structure, was actually well on the far side of the sun and lifted off. And there's new regions coming into play. So we've got these three now, plus this one, plus this region in here, and maybe one more behind it. So we're going to be watching this cluster of regions as it rotates around the far side of the sun. It's not going to be visible to us again for probably another, I'd say 10 to 15 days, or no, 10 to 12 days, sorry, 10 to 12 days, and then it'll be back on the east limb for us. So we're going to be watching it with solar orbiter imagery. I do have that imagery. I just haven't put it up on this informal forecast. That will be one thing that I'll add to the formal forecast. But outside of that, of these regions, not a lot of activity, kind of like the front side, sadly. So there's a few hot spots here and there, but not a lot to talk about. as far as solar flare and dayside radio blackout outlook over the coming week, we're sitting at about 140 right now for our solar flux. I haven't checked today yet. I'm expecting that's going to rise just a little bit as that coronal hole rotates kind of out of Earth view and those new regions rotate into Earth view. NOAA's expecting about a 50% chance of an R1 to R2 level radio blackout. I think that's a little bit high. We'll see what they've done for their latest forecast today. But that's about moderate noise on the bands. We're kind of sitting at the seafloor right now in terms of X-ray flux. So that really does translate to some decent noise. But we only have about a 5% chance of X-class flares, and that's likely going to stay here through the rest of this week. We shall see what those new regions bring us as they rotate into Earth view. But amateur radio operators and emergency responders kind of expect the status quo to pretty much hang in there for the rest of this week. So as we switch to, kind of summarizing, we do have those beautiful filament eruptions. Only the one that was going off to the northeast might give us some impacts on Friday-ish, maybe into Saturday. Not expecting all that much, at least right now, because the coronagraphs really aren't showing it being completely Earth directed. So, if you're at high latitudes, aurora photographers, you might get a little bit of something. I'm not expecting all that much. Mid-latitude photographers, probably not much at all. So only if you're dedicated should you chase. Amateur radio operators expect the status quo. Things are just going to continue on as they've been going. Not expecting a whole lot of change over the next few days. But in about 4 or 5 days, you might start really seeing some activity as some new regions begin to rotate into Earth view, and they look like they might have a bigger chance for big flares. And now you GPS users, well, things are looking pretty good for you. Not expecting all that much. And so pretty much all over the globe, things should be, at least your GPS reception should be pretty top notch. So enjoy, and then I'll give you a newer forecast later on today, later on this evening, hopefully. And that'll be a formal forecast that I'll release out to YouTube and everybody out there. Okay? So enjoy, guys. Talk soon.
Thank you, Dr. T. She put that together.
Oh,
yeah.
You're good, Don. We hear you. Go for it.
Thank you, Randy. She put that together for us this afternoon, kind of late. So, okay, good. Yeah, she put that together for us this afternoon, kind of late, spur of the moment. So we certainly appreciate the effort and everything that she does for us. So be checking spaceweatherwoman.com later on for her, and of course her YouTube channel, which is just like her X channel. It's at Tamitha Scove, and certainly appreciate her. And we appreciate the Newsline folks. And we appreciate everybody watching tonight. And we also appreciate Amanda for putting together Hammett, Cannett, and What Hammett.
Our Air News Talk.
That's your cue, Amanda.
That's my cue. Okay. This horrible story about the guy doing the POTA that died. Isn't that so sad?
Sad.
That happened I think that was over the 4th
really
or something. And I was telling Jeff, and he's like, "Oh man,
the 5th, I believe." Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He's like, that's just not good, because then the parks on the air, like the park rangers and stuff, are going to start being a little bit more rigid about allowing you to do your amateur radio activities at those parks. So everybody, please be careful. Can't say that enough. Okay. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go over Hammett or Cannett. Got some good ones.
Yay.
I know.
One of my favorite things we do, no doubt about it. So let me see if you've got your screen. Looks like it's coming up right now.
Okay.
Maybe. There it is. All right, you're live here.
Okay. Let me zoom in here. This is just a quick. Whoa, not that much.
Enhance.
I love that movie. Okay. We see this question a lot, so I'll just this guy lost his opportunity because he just missed field day. But what's the best way for a general to get into HF? Dude, go to your field day sites. That's definitely your best opportunity to get introduced to new radios or things that you're not familiar with. I always think, and I saw so many different setups over field day. But any other advice anyone have?
I mean, Parks on the Air is a fantastic way to get into HF. I know we sadly lost an amazing ham, but it's very safe, and there's so many parks that totally safe to set up in. 10 meters is still workable, and those monoband, tri-band, 10 meter, 12 meter, 15 meter and radios that you can get for a couple $100, and they'll do like 60 watts out. beautiful. There is a radio. It's a kit radio, but you can get it pre-assembled if you want to. It's the QRP Labs QMX, and I did a live stream on it this last weekend. Had 2 experts on the radio on, and I'm telling you what, it's one of the best deals you can get for like $200, fully assembled, shipped to your door. Fantastic radio. Hard to beat.
Wow.
Anybody else?
Get a vertical. Get a cheap vertical.
Get a cheap vertical. Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody else have a recommendation?
I like a dipole because it's easy.
Dipole's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, it depends on if you have anywhere to put your wires and stuff. But
yes.
Okay. Well, Greg, Brandon, I hope you find some answers, and I hope some people answered you on X as well. Okay, let's move on. Why did it not switch? Okay.
Well,
on this episode, is it AI or is it a real radio? This is a real radio. I thought it was AI.
It does look like it could go either way.
Does it not look? It looks totally fake. I thought this was AI's imagination, but I have no idea about this radio. I just thought it looked fake. So
looks like a Cobra. Those have been out for a while.
Doesn't it? Cobra
in the CB radio.
This little the SWR meter and stuff, but it's like LCD.
Yeah, that's all part of the Cobra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like a 90s.
It could be a knockoff.
Came out of the 90s.
Moonraker
cool.
Titan. I have no idea what that is.
I
This
like
is
the
just super
Moonraker.
cool. This is a lovely VHF amplifier, and his comment about it was so funny. We won't talk about the cost per watt that I spent.
Yeah.
And this is going to be good for. Did anyone do the VHF contest a couple weekends ago? And if so, are you doing the digital portion? It's always a fun time.
I was busy. Did anybody else participate?
No.
Hopefully, you can do some FT8 this weekend and have some fun with it. Hopefully, it's open. Okay, you guys. Remember, I totally bashed this guy for doing a whole man ham radio article. He has sort of redeemed himself. He wrote another blog about women who built the amateur radio world. So,
that's awesome.
Brian, you're not completely redeemed. This is like a kid that has been grounded, but their parents are going to let them stay up to watch their favorite show on Friday night, even though they're grounded. That's how far you have redeemed yourself. But thank you for writing about women in amateur radio. Appreciate it. This is so sad. Ham Shack Hotline is going away. The end of August. Has everyone heard about this?
Yeah, it was in the amateur radio Newsline segment, but I got to be honest. Why? What was there a cost upper that I'm not aware of with this system, or what's the
I
deal?
want to know the whys as well. I
haven't heard. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if maybe it was if it was a funding problem, why they didn't go to ARDC and maybe get some money, a grant to like keep up servers if it was a server issue. I do know that there have been kind of replacements, and even we have replaced Ham Shack Hotline with hams over IP. But this is also, I just have my own little grunt about it, is that we encourage some of our EOCs to put Ham Shack Hotline into the EOCs, and now it's going to go away. So, and we worked really, really hard with like IT departments to get approval, get IP addresses, all the things to get on their networks and things like that, to have this in some of our EOCs. And now it's going to be another thing.
What are the other options?
Ham over, well, amateur
Moons
radio
over my
VOIP.
hammy? Moons over my hammy is my favorite.
They're, I don't even know how to
You get that as part of the Workdall Denny's parking lot.
That's right. It's part of the grand slam of Workdall Denny's.
That's right.
So there are a couple other ones, and we are running one in our Ham Shack right now. And a gentleman from Hawaii helped Jeff get it all organized and worked out to make it work. And if I have more information about that, I will bring it to the show next time and share whatever good replacement is. So I only thought this minute, not what we could do after this. So good question. Can it, Josh, for sure. Okay, what else do I got? Randy found this. Randy, you should talk about this, because Randy found this great CBS show that was talking about communications during the Texas flooding. You wanna talk a minute about what you saw?
Yeah, they did a story on this fellow here. I forget his name. They never mentioned his call sign, but he's a scanner enthusiast as well as a ham radio operator, I believe, and he had recorded a lot of the public service calls that were going on during the flooding, and they had these shots of him and his ham shack there, and had a close up of his equipment, and I see a Uniden SDS 200 scanner and SDS 100 scanner. So those things are about what, $600-700 a piece.
Yeah, they're not.
It's a serious scanner.
Yeah, and it's sitting on top of a IC 9700. That's my guess, because on the picture to the left, it's kind of hard to see, but there is a set of tracking satellite antennas. That's probably what he's got that. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
And then just to the left of the radio, I see at least 2 Cantronics TNCs. So he's doing some digital and switch box and stuff. And
so he's receiving packet and stuff like that.
He's probably well, look at the roof of the house. It's like a porcupine. But but one of the things in another picture, I kind of mentioned that, boy, he's got a lot of mass in there, and there's the power line for the house right on the edge.
Boom, 2 power lines right here. One's probably cable or what have you, but yeah. Two lines there.
I'm hoping that's just a forced perspective thing and it's not that close, because sometimes images can be a bit confusing in that way.
I don't know. The mast is right there.
Yeah, there's the power and there's the mast right on the edge of the roof on both of those. So
boy.
Well, he's got it. He listens to a lot of stuff. That's all I know. It would be fun to know his call sign. I'd like to hear from him. Okay. This is something new. And I didn't queue up the website, but it just started this. It's called dxlook.com. And I checked it out because they said, you can see reports directly from your location. And I thought, well, how is this different from any of the other DX reporting? So I looked at it. I didn't see anything that really stuck out like that was fantastic. But if you wanted to look at another way of looking for DX and DX reporting in your area and what you can hear from where, it gives you like the bands you can choose from. You have to put in your grid and some other things, and it will show you the DX reports for your area.
Okay,
so it's kind of cool. Yeah,
more
and you can
tools
choose
is
like
always good.
More tools is definitely good. I didn't know what this was. So I was like, what am it? I mean, okay, so I translated the page. I didn't show you the translated page, but basically this is a 1.2 gig antenna. And I mean, it's just appropriate that it's from Japan, because Japan, they do a ton of 1.2 gig. So it made more sense when looking at it and realizing that it was a Japanese ham station, but it's just funny. Just like, wow.
Kind of cool.
He even has like this cute case for it and everything. And it's just like a little collapsible case. It's really cool. So it looks like he worked really hard at making this. So good job.
Yeah, look at that. That's very impressive.
Great job.
Yeah. Were you going to say something, Randy?
No, it's just need a couple phased, squaros or whatever they call those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, this person asked what this antenna was. So I decided wrong answers only. Chat room, go ahead. I don't know what it is, but
it's my grandma's clothesline.
Totally a clothesline. That's what I had one in my backyard like this. We cut it down so we wouldn't have to mow around it.
It's the DX Sphinx.
Is it really? Is it an antenna even?
No, it looks like a pyramid, so I just went with something Egyptian. So it's the DX Sphinx is what they call that.
Oh, very good. Yes.
But I mean, it's just a triangle cobweb is what it looks like. But wait. There's no feed.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's what I was looking for, was the feed line. And
it's wireless.
So
it's a wireless antenna. That's right, Randy.
Yeah,
Randy got it. It's wireless.
And these look like they're all telescoping, like those all fold into each other. I have no idea what it is. So chat room, wrong answers only. You let us know.
Tripodal cobweb. That's it. You heard it here from Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
There you go.
Definitely a sock dryer.
That's a big old spider.
This is like this is probably like a rare grid, but this looks like the most awful, desolate place to do an amateur radio activation from. Like, it's just so sad.
Well, the guys on 6 meters who are serious in grids, there's the Fred Fish Memorial Award for them to work all 448 grids in the continental United States, and only about 50 people have done that. So
Dude, bring a beach ball or something. Give it some color. I don't even know.
I like the dead trees that are there too.
It's
That's
just
really
so
selling it.
sad. And even the antenna looks a little sad. It's like kind of leaning
It's
over,
a little
like
bummed out. The antenna.
It's a little hot out here.
There could be a Buc-ee's right behind the camera.
Right over that hillside, there could be something just metropolis.
Meteor scatter.
Buc-ee's in the desert. Yeah,
he's pointing up for the meteors.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for putting out grid DM18. Again, I didn't even look where it is. If anyone has a grid square map that they would love to send me, I have wall space like right here. I could put it up. So okay, that was it. Sad activation there. And I forgot to share this with the W5YI team. Did you stop sharing?
Whoa!
Okay. This was their Zoom session. So I think all of these that have the W5YIs is their team still with us? They can talk for a second if they wanted to.
I think we have Alan still and Ian.
Okay, so you can just tell us about this picture. Okay.
Ian's still around. Ian might be able to comment on what other universities were. We had at least half a dozen universities represented at that test session.
Awesome. Well, I had found the photo, so I wanted to make sure I shared it for you guys. So, well, thank you for that. Okay, you guys, we got to wrap up the show. We're
overtime. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Anybody have anything they want to mention? Nets? I think we got to do
the nets are taking place. We got 14 Charlie on D-Star and 7192. Look for Kev, and they'll be looking for your check-ins. So other than that, everyone try to stay cool. I'm really concerned about all of this flash flooding that the country is seeing. It's been pretty detrimental. So everyone have your go bags ready, or just listen to the radio. Listen for calls for help, please.
I just want to mention a comment I saw from Cody in the chat room. He said he saw the announcement for the ISS today. He has an aero antenna. He says he's had forever and never used. He downloaded the app on his phone and went outside and sat in the grass and got 2 pictures at a 10-degree elevation.
Nicely done.
Wow.
Congrats, Cody.
Yeah. Be listening for me. I will be backpacking this weekend with Adam K6ARK and my 2 boys. So we're going to be outside Hilton Lakes area in the Eastern Sierras, northwest of Bishop, California. So we'll be live streaming. I think we are actually going to backpack out a Starlink. So we're going to be in the middle of nowhere with internet. So we will live stream on Saturday. At least we will try, and we will be activating as well. So put me in your ham alerts if you haven't already. It would be great.
Well, you guys have fun and stay safe out there.
Excellent.
And
it'll be hot though. It's probably gonna be hot.
Don't bring lots of water.
Go ahead, Don.
I have a programming note for our next show. A little programming note. Typically, we do the Young Ham of the Year award at the Huntsville Ham Fest in August, but Katie Campbell, our recipient this year, is going to be spending her senior year in high school as an exchange student in Germany. So we are going to be presenting the award in 2 weeks on the 30th, right here on this very program. So
that's right. Lots of surprise guests. So that's all I'll say about that. That wanted to wish her congratulations. So thank you. Yes, join us July 30th. I can't believe it's already the middle of July. It's crazy.
I know, it's scary.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah, 7-3, everybody.
That's all I got.
73. We'll see you later.
Good night.
Sunday.